is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we are comparing 4 different dual overdrive pedals. Are we starting already with the cat? We'll see what happens. Anyway, some quick housekeeping notes and things out of the way. I'm going to use some backing tracks just for some stuff. If you're interested in any of that stuff, it's on Patreon. I do build lap steels. I built this one. I'm going to use another one too with some humbuckers. And I build these. They are for sale. Reverb link is below. And that's it. Okay, signal chain today. This is a Western red cedar body with Lawler Firebird pickups. Firebird pickups are not normal mini humbuckers. They're much more of like a beefy, noiseless single coil. Than a humbucker. So that's cool. I'm going out of here into my DCC Darko's Custom Creations Plexi. It is currently on 2, although we're going to talk about that. I don't ever play this clean. We're going to slowly beef it up. And then I'm going into my booth. I've got a satellite amps 1x12 in there. It's got 3 mics on it. I might throw a picture up here. The 57 is going through 2 different preamps that are then being panned hard left and right just to give a little bit of width. Because I find like super tight mono really tough in like just like a listening environment by itself. I don't understand. What is it you want? And then I'm also using a Menatone Mondo, which is a kick drum mic, and also a ribbon mic to get some of that, some subby stuff, and then just some body on it. So 4 mics, or 3 mics, 4 mic preamps. And this brings me to my first point, which is this is not going to be like this is how this pedal sounds, because just the way I balance the mics can all sound so different. Let alone what mics am I using, or am I using a load box? And for a lot of stuff, I use a load box, but for demoing pedals, I certainly don't, because I think the speaker sounds better. But again, it sounds different all the time. The cat's gonna have to get kicked out of the room, I think. We're gonna see. Okay, and then I'm just adding a little bit of reverb in the box. Okay, that's it. That's the whole thing. So this is gonna be a long video. I love long YouTube videos. I like to put them on while I'm driving. I don't watch them. I just listen. Like a podcast, but I love listening to people talk about music. I love, that pedal show. I've been watching a lot of the Eric Valentine stuff lately. Obviously, the Rick Beato stuff where he's interviewing these famous guys is great. Like there's so much great stuff out there, and part of it is I just like hearing about. I like talking about. I like listening to people talk about this thing that is so central to my life. So we're gonna. What are you doing? He's being very cute. I see you. See, look, this is you being very cute. I know, you're very cute. But we're not doing this today. I know, it's very nice. So, I probably screwed up my pedal cam at this point. Let me just double check it. Okay, we're back. So, I have these dual overdrive pedals. And so look, Scott from BMF Effects got ripped off, right? His I have to move the cat. He's being very sweet and very cute. And it's not helping anything. Oh, the worst part is he runs up the stairs when I open the door like we're gonna go hang out upstairs. Like he's excited to keep hanging out, and I'm just locking him out. So I tricked him. All right, on that sad note, okay. So, look, Scott from BMF Effects, right, his storage space got ripped off, and he's trying to recover. So, that's brutal, and that sucks. And he sent me this El Rey, and I was like, dude, let me make some videos for you. This is awesome. And obviously, I don't just do demos. Like, it's not really my thing, but I'm happy to do comparisons. So, Christmas is coming up. although obviously, you know, who knows when you're watching this, but these are great times to buy from small builders, and these guys are all small builders, right? Brian Mena from Menatone is, I mean, he's a legend. This pedal, the Fish Factory, is like, I was just at a shop the other day, and somebody was asking me, like, what was that old Menatone pedal you had? And I was like, it was the blue collar. You know, that's the blue side of the Fish Factory. And he was like, no, it was the King of the Britons. And I was like, I don't think I ever had that one. But, like, I've had Menatone pedals my whole life. And I'm going to tell you right now, selling the blue collar, the big box blue collar, still a huge bummer. That thing was point to point. It was point to point. Whatever. It was awesome. It was so well made, and it was cool. And then I didn't realize that I was getting this high-pitched ringing because I was using a cheap power supply. Power's super important. Hence the Zuma. But the Fish Factory, I mean, Brian's a legend, right? And then Scott from BMF Effects, right? Scott and I I've gotten a couple pedals from Scott over the years, and they're all super, super high quality. And, like, when you pick them up, it's like that enclosure is so heavy duty, and it's got the thumb screws on the outside, and it's so unique, and you feel it, and you see it in person. You're like, that's a really high quality enclosure. The Beetronics Wannabee, I think is like one of those pedals. It's got so many options. We're not going to go through all of them. We're not gonna go through all the options on any of these pedals, right? But the Wannabee has a few more options, I think, than the others. That being said, it's just like those guys are just sweet, and Felipe's, I mean, to me, he's brilliant, and all those guys over there, what a special group of dudes who really care about music. And then Albert Kasleder from Kasleder Effects. I mean, this one has lived on my board since I built my board. It's he's awesome. The things he makes are awesome, and so all four of these pedals I'm really impressed with, and I really like. All of the guys who build them, and it happens to be guys today, but you know, whatever. I have a bunch of stuff from Low Sounds and other people who are, but these guys, I mean, they're all lovely dudes, and I'm a fan of them as people, and I'm also a fan of their work. So let's start with I'm in my Plexi right now, and it's super clean. And I never play this clean. All right, and levels are good. Now, the reason I don't play this clean, but one of the reasons to have a dual overdrive pedal is to have like two channels. Well, let me switch this to this side, by the way. So that if I'm going into a super clean amp, if something's backlines and I'm playing into something super clean, then I have like a bass drive tone or a bass like dirty tone. And so I have these set up right now as like, except for the Menatone one, because I haven't gotten there yet, but they're just to take this really clean. Like, that's too clean for me. Like, it's nice, but it's too clean. If I step on the Kasleder, which is in 5, now I have, it cleans up, but it acts way more like an amp. And that's where I love having an amp set. But like, I was at NAMM last year doing some stuff, and I think I was for Bill Asher, and I was going through like, I think he had a Princeton, right, which is an amazing amp, but at NAMM the volumes have to be so low, it's not breaking up at all, it's crystal clean. And so I took the Kasleder with me, and it was like I had this bass tone, and then if I needed more juice, which is awesome because that's coming from nothing. That's coming from a super clean tone. I can really not get a super huge boost in level and still get something that feels good to me. Get something amp-like. And this is kind of like a really classic combo of, pardon me, Blues Breaker and then Tube Screamer. Modded. But Blues Breaker, Tube Screamer. So, super cool. And then, you know, so I guess I'm working left to right. That's not the way you usually do it. Whatever. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be what it is. This is gonna be a long video, I can already tell. So the Beetronics, the Wannabee, is a similar idea. It is it's a blues breakery pedal and then a clon-y pedal. But the Kasleder has level, drive, and tone for each, and that's it. And that's where you're at. Which, for someone as simple as me, that's perfect. The Wannabee, you can go blue into red, red into blue. You can go parallel. Each version, each side has 3 versions, rather. So it's a lot of stuff going on. But another aside, by the way, is I want to try to keep everything volume-wise the same, because something that's louder sounds better to the human ear. Louder sounds better, obviously to a point. But, so I'm just going to try to volume match as I go. I'm sure when I get back into the mixing stage, I'll be like, oh no, it's not volume matched. I might volume match some more, but I'm going to try to keep them as even as possible. Same thing, it cleans up great, man. This is the Wannabee. And this one has a ton of level. You can see I've got the level on the Wannabee at about, it's right here, and it's at about 9 o'clock, whereas my level on my Blues Breaker on my Toxic Twins is about 2:30. You know, and they sound really different. Okay, now the El Rey. The El Rey is 2 of the same pedal. They're 2 of Scott's El Jefe pedal, and I should look up what that is. I'll look it up. If it's something fancy, I'll put it up here. But it's a great pedal. Let me check and make sure that we're still rocking and everything's the right temperature. That's amazing. Okay, this is... So these are all really cool pedals. I mean, this is that low gain thing again, and again, it has similarities to the Blues Breaker in that it's not lopping off a lot of low end. There's a reason to do that, and I'm actually going to do that. So I'm starting with the cleanest stuff, and then we're going to get to like kind of how I use an amp usually, and then I'm gonna go to a higher gain amp, and I'm gonna hit it with like, I'm gonna use these as like a more of like a tube screamer-y thing, and you know, we're gonna do all the different versions of using a lower gain overdrive, how to use a lower gain overdrive. So this is going into a clean amp, using it to like kind of make it more ampy for me. Okay, and then, so the way that I like to have stuff set is, this is the Fish Factory, and, hold on, I didn't do anything here. Okay, I like to have the one that has a little more booty set second, so I can use it like an amp, and then if I need to, I can hit it with the one that has less booty, as it were. So this is the Fish Factory. This is the blue side, and again, it's set. It's not really. It's kind of what it really is meant to be is an amped up red side, right? It's a little higher gain version. At least that's my understanding. Don't quote me on that, but I have found it to have a little bit less brightness, and it also seems to scoop out a little bit less low end. Certainly scoots out more low end than all the rest, though, which is, you know, it depends, and we're going to get into this in a second, it depends on what I'm using it for. But the reason that I use, and the camera's starting to overheat, this one's starting to overheat, I got to get, we're going to take a break in a second here, but you'll notice that I have this Espresso Effects Germanium boost on here. This is a treble booster style pedal. I have it set up pretty bright, and the way that a treble booster works is it boosts your trebles. Okay, I think the thing that people don't understand sometimes is that it's not meant to go into a clean amp. Without a drive in front of it, it sounds awful. Awful's the wrong word, but like, it's not, this is not a super pleasant sound. Although I'm going to tell you right now, it's way better than I expected. Okay, here's full treble. It's amazing, but check it out if I put it into a... Without it, I mean, it obviously is louder, right, which was not what I wanted. Now, obviously, all the pedals have different headrooms, so I'm going to have to adjust, well, not obviously, I'm going to adjust that in post, but they were all screamingly different volumes here, but you can, you know, you'll be able to set all that stuff up. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to change out the treble booster for a Fuzz Face, because I think that the treble booster sounds great actually by itself, which is amazing, so buy an Espresso treble booster and you never have a problem. But I think a Fuzz Face will help demonstrate why I use these as well. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've changed out the the treble booster for an Espresso Germanium Fuzz. It still sounds great. You know, the Darko, my Plexi, even though it's super clean, I guess is smoothing out those harsh edges a little bit. It's pretty nice. There's a little bit of harshness there. So again, I don't run a Fuzz Face into a completely clean amp. What I do is I like to have it pushing a little bit, which I'm going to do in about a second. But first things first, check it out. This is the same pedals now, but I'm using the Germanium Fuzz. Here's without it. And that just smooths it out. Without it, it's really spiky and aggressive, which I don't hate, to be honest. And then, right, the Kasleder just rounds out its booty. The Wannabee. Now the El Rey feels in between the, well, here, check it out, the Fish Factory. Alright, that's really scooping out the low end. More low end. Now, in that context, for me, the Kasleder sounds the best. But you take away the germanium fuzz, and all of a sudden, all of these just have different character, right? So using it as an amp, the Kasleder blue side for me is the best. But as just having character, the Fish Factory probably has the most cut, because it has the least bottom. So it's not gonna muddy things up. If I have a track like this. It's like a slow booze track. That was nice. This one. I'm gonna learn how to play, so I'll do that one again. Alright, that has a little more body to it. The most body. You can start to see how the character of each one interacts differently. Once it's a track, it sounds different. Now, I would do different things with different ones. You know, the Kasleder to me, in that setting, felt the thinnest. So I would want to go to my neck pickup. Right? Whereas the Fish Factory is like... Let's try them all on the neck pickup. I mean... They sound great. These are great, man, they're great pedals. in that setting, I think the El Rey for that style, for that thing, for that whatever was happening there, the El Rey felt the best to me in that scenario. And I think this is part of the point, right? There's not a best, there's not even a better. There's like what is serving me with my hands, with my microphones, with my amps, with my song in that moment the best. So far, I picked the El Rey in one scenario, I picked the Kasleder in another, like already, and we haven't even gotten into the way I use my amp. So let me reset some stuff real quick, and then we're gonna get into having the amp pushed a little bit. Okay, so we've done the low gain thing, right? And the just trying to act like an amp. But here's how I set my amp usually. Right, I brought my amp from 2 to 4. I can even go to 5. If I dig in, it starts to break up. If I use the bridge pickup, but I can get it clean pretty quick, right? So now if I just take this and a 2-channel pedal, I have 3 channels. I have 3 usable channels. This can be my really nice rhythm sound where I can control everything. And then when I need to get to the next level, right? But then I got one more level. Which is gonna be great for rocking. Like this great for rock. So it's really cool that I have a second level on the Fish Factory. The El Rey, you can go A and B, so you can cascade them together with this switch, or it's A or B, and it's 2 El Jefes. El Jefes? I don't know. Whatever. It's 2 identical things. So my initial sound was here, right, which already sounds way different into that gainy amp. And then I can gain it up more. I'm sorry I switched pickups in the middle of that. I know, you're trying to compare. Right, and then I can A and B with that switch. I mean, I have to do this too. To be honest, I prefer the A. It's too much gain. Who said that? Okay, Wannabee again. I'm cascading the 2 channels together. I'm sorry, I keep switching. And the Kasleder. That was the Kasleder. Here's the Wannabee. And that one's got a nice booty. in the context of a track again, because I think that's the most like, yo, check it out. That was cool. I mean, for me at least, once you start adding other stuff into the mix, and you're not just sitting there with the pedal by itself, it's so much more illuminating to me. I felt like I could have used a little more brightness on this guy and this guy. And you know, the Wannabee, for whatever reason, I have the tone controls all the way up, I think. I think those are the tone controls. So I don't think that one gets much brighter. But there you have it. So that's pretty illuminating with that funky track on there. And again, things are starting to get ready to die, but we're still hanging in there, I guess. Oh, man. Been talking forever. It's amazing. Anyway, I really was blown away by the El Rey and the Kasleder in that scenario. Oh, internal temperature too high. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so to button this up, you know, this is with the two overdrives into a slightly driven amp. You know, we can do so many different comparisons, right? And so far, I've been using this one lap steel. So if I use this other lap steel, this is Humbuckers into reclaimed pine. It is as far away from that guitar. I mean, just big and beefy and wild. And obviously quite a bit more gain. More bottom, more gain. And so now we go through the same thing. I mean, to me, they all sound so different. They're all so cool. This guitar makes them all sound different. I definitely get a little more sizzle up top from all of them, which actually surprised me. But I think it's because it's a little bit beefier than the, I don't even know if this is in the shot. I don't think it is, than this one. But let's go to another amp, and let's do, well, okay, wait, let's do one other thing first, which is just now, the El Rey can't do this, which is fine. Just the other side of the stuff that we haven't really tested yet. You've heard both sides of the El Rey, because it's the same Overdrive, set two different ways. So, right, that's this side, the right side. And here's the left side. And they're both hitting the amp hard, right? I both have the volume juiced up because the way I like to use an Overdrive anyway is the gain is almost secondary to what it's doing to the amp. So, you know, with no... You know, you're getting some of the character of the pedal, and that has like a nice, like, thunky, like there's like a woody mid-range thing. Don't you like it when people talk about sound, like that makes any sense? But it has something in the mid-range that makes me just go like, oh, that's cool. The Fish Factory, the red side is the Menatone red snapper, and this thing for me has always had a high end. I mean, both are great sounding, obviously very different pedals. Here's the Klon side of the Wannabee. Then bring the gainers, the volume down a little bit. I mean, that thing has so much volume and gain in the Wannabee. It's crazy. Look, they all sound so different. Let's put them in the context of a track. Let's put them back in that funky track, which I should have listened to it before we did this, but whatever. cool things, I think, is they all sound amazing, and they all, if you gave me any one of them, I can do whatever I want with it. But I definitely have preferences. I have things I go, ooh, that one hits the spot for me. So let's do one last thing, which is let me go to a higher gain amp, and let's really hit it like a tube screamer would into like, I'm going to use a satellite Elmer. I do have a Mesa, but like I don't love the Mesa, to be honest. It's a little bit too tight and solid and blah. I like the Elmer. I like a raw sound, and the Elmer has a raw thing. The Plexis have a raw thing. These, you know, will push them into that raw place, which I love. So let's check that out. And the moment I'm sure we were all waiting for, just like high gain, right? Low gain overdrives, of course we want to do high gain. The reality is that it's so much fun. While I was letting the cameras cool down and the blah, blah, like I started testing something because I was going to use a different guitar, and I'm going to show you, but this is kind of one of the reasons I like these longer videos, is because I get to explore some stuff, and as I'm doing it, it's like, oh, look at this thing. Oh, sorry, that buzzing was killing me. You're not gonna hear it because I'm gonna edit it because I'm a professional. So this guitar is like a beefy, for me, this is one of my main instruments. It's beefy, it's got a lot of body, a lot of low end, which can be great with higher gain stuff in the context of a track. I didn't listen to the track. Okay, whatever. You're gonna see me struggle with this track. Within the context of a track, it you know, it can get muddy if it's not like if I was playing with other people, like if there was a bunch of, you know, there was guitars and like an organ or whatever, this has too much low end. So with the amp at a higher gain, I could really hear the low end differences in the pedals, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a second. This, and again, I do have lap steels for sale. The reverb store is below. This is tempered pine. So this is reclaimed pine. This is tempered pine. The tempered pine, they cook it, and it cooks all the sugars and the moisture out of it, and it makes it more resonant. It also ends up having less low end. This is one of my brighter guitars, one of my less low-endy guitars. In a solo setting, it won't necessarily be as satisfying. As you get your higher gains going and stuff, you don't want all that low end because it starts to sound muddy. And so I'm going to pull this one out in a second. I'm going to show you with I keep pointing at this amp. You can't see the amp. Here, I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Satellite Elmer. It's awesome. Adam's awesome. Whatever. So anyway, check this out. So this is the amp. No pedal. Okay, if I hit it with like a tube screamery style thing from the Kasleder, lifts it up, scoops out a little low end, gives me a little bit of clarity. obviously, again, all very different. Check this out. I'm gonna go to my, so here's this again. No pedals. You can already hear how much more low end it is. All of these are providing some sort of shape to scoop out some of that low end. Whereas like a blues breaker, for example, does not. That's why it works so cool with some of these fuzzes. But then you get it into the context of like higher gain stuff, and again, this is why a dual pedal's great, especially if you can only bring one or you don't want to bring patch cables, all that stuff. But check this out. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm getting excited. First things first, one more time. Okay. Now, this one, this doesn't have the same booty. Which, again, is not a bad thing. I think, you know, if I'm playing at home by myself, playing with myself. I didn't say that, but that's still funny. It's one thing, but check it out. It doesn't have that same sub information, so you're not hearing the same changes that you are with that other instrument, which is cool, because now it's like, all right, first of all, I knew that, I didn't realize how dramatic it was going to be with these pedals, but like a lot of times if I'm playing something and this sounds thin, then I reach for that one, and if I'm playing something and that one sounds muddy, then I reach for this one, or I reach for the red one, or whatever. Like, that's how having multiple guitars for me works. So, in the context of higher gain, though, it's pretty cool that this guitar is scooping some of that stuff out naturally. And now, same stuff, though, when we get to cool. I mean, I think for the first time, the Wannabee is really doing it for me in a way that it's not. The El Rey still has something. I mean, this is a really cool pedal, Scott. If you're watching, I don't know. We'll see. The camera's trying to overheat again, but I think we've kind of covered how these pedals sound, how they sound. You can't compare them. So it's like, I mean, you can compare them, obviously, but like for your setting. But they all have things they're doing really cool. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. I hope you got something from it. Most importantly, I hope you will shop at the smaller builders for Christmas or for people's birthdays or for summer or for whatever you're doing. Okay, so there's just one last thing to do, I guess, which is to play these with a track in the context of higher gain. Huh. Okay, that was cool, man. So I think the takeaway, at least for me, the Kasleder is on my board for a reason, and it's really because of the blue side. The blue side for me, I mean they're both. I use the green side all the time too. I'll tell you what, even in the context of the higher gain stuff, it has something. It's crazy how they move different places, and they all have their own nose somewhere, and it moves it in the spectrum. And the blue side for me acts like an amp, especially when I'm in a situation where I don't have something dirty. There's a reason that's on my board. And then I think, you know, the El Rey has blown me away today. And if, you know, like I got a gig Sunday, and so I'm bringing my board, but I need a pedal that goes in the bag in case the board goes down. And if this were my El Rey, it's not. Then I would throw it in the gig bag, but I won't, you know, beat up somebody else's pedal. That being said, that one blows me away, and that one would live in the gig bag. So that, because I could, if I was playing a gig and I had to turn the volume on the amp down a little bit so I get some cleanup, right? If I just had that sound, my board goes down, that would take me all the way through everything I needed to do. That would be more than enough. It's a killer pedal, battery powered. I mean, it's through the power supply too. But anyway, that would be what I would do. This would be my board pedal. This would be in the bag, and this would be the one that kind of just goes with me everywhere. The camera just overheated, but I don't care. I'll say goodbye on this one. Thank you for hanging. I appreciate you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it.